May Flaum here, and today I've got a super fun wall hanging project that combines embroidery, felt, and heat transfer vinyl all pulled together with my ScanNCut with some intricate designs and really fun hand embroidery work. So to get started on this project, the first thing we're going to do is use some heat transfer vinyl. This is a new beautiful shimmery pink color available for purchase separately from the ScanNCut, and it's made by Brother, and I've got it so that it is transfer material down and adhesive side up, and I'm inserting it into my ScanNCut. Now I am going to be working with a pattern that is a built-in pattern here in my ScanNCut and sizing it to about 7.5 inches high. That should be good for my wall hanging, but also large enough to really appreciate all of the detail that this design has. It has so much fun detail. And I'm just centering it on my mat, and then when I go in to cut, I'm also going to want to push the little tool button, and I'm going to want to select half cut on so that we have a half cut. Once this is good, we are going to go ahead and let it cut. Now the half cut is going to ensure that the vinyl material cuts, but the transfer sheet material on the bottom does not, and that is very important. Once we're done cutting though, we're going to want to go ahead and weed out or remove all the bits and pieces that we don't wish to transfer from our design. And once this is all done, then we can go ahead and use our iron and heat transfer this onto our wall hanging material, which in this case I'm using felt, just for a hardier material that I think is going to hang really nicely on my wall with no filler or additional steps needed. So once I have this on, I've decided, you know what, I want to add a little love here. So I drew the word love, and I'm going in with my pen and thickening this. Now once it's as thick as I would like it, I'm going to go ahead and scan this into my ScanNCut to create a cut file and then cut it out of gold heat transfer vinyl. So the first step, of course, is we need to make that cut file. We're going into scan and loading our mat, and we're going to select the function that is scan to cut data. So that's going to help us make our file, and then we're going to select. So we want the inside and the outside of the lines. As you can see, it picks it up perfectly. I would expect no less. And once we have that selected and zoomed in just so we only have the word being saved as our file, I'm increasing the smoothing just a bit since it is a hand-drawn cut file. And sometimes I like to do that when it's a little shaky. Once that is done, we're good to save and get this cut out. To do that, we're just going to save to our machine in this case, then go back in to retrieve data and retrieve that file. Now we are going to want to edit this a little, as I have noticed I drew this just a slightly larger than I wanted. So to do that, push the red squares, and we're going to select all because we want all of the pieces, then go into edit, and we're going to unify this so it treats it as one single file. This will allow me to resize it, but resize all of the pieces all at once, all together nicely. And then we're just going to position it. And one more thing, we need to push that reverse button so that we are printing it backwards. Because we are cutting out of heat transfer vinyl, we always want to flip that. Otherwise, when you cut it, it's actually going to cut backwards. You have to make sure to do the opposite there. With everything cut, everything weeded, and I already have my pink material heat set to the felt, now I'm going to use my iron and I'm going to heat transfer our love onto there. Remember to cover with a layer of fabric and press and remove our transfer material there. As you can see, nice and gentle, so lovely. Now we could be done right here, but you know what? I really want to do some embroidery work. So for my embroidery work, what I'm going to do is go ahead and just get out various threads and colors and just do simple stitching all around. I can add beads, I can add little pearls, I can add stitches here and there, and I'm using that ScanNCut design to inspire my embroidery. And I love how this looks, I love how it works, and you have no limits here. You can use sequins, you can use beads, you could use buttons, whatever you would like depending on the design you are working with. You're just going to really embrace and have some fun with this. There, as you can see there, I've got a lot of different colors and textures going on here and a lot of different beads and things as I go along and decide what things I'd like to add or when I've had enough of hand stitching. It's really a fun project to partake in. And as you can see, you're just going to go in and out nice and simple, nothing special needed. You could also add some additional machine designs if you would like as well. It's really going to be up to you and your creativity. Now, once you are all done, I have decided, because I did so much stitching there, I want to go ahead and put a second piece of felt as a backing to not just cover up all of the stitching on the backside, but really just make a nicer wall hanging piece. So I'm just pinning this together, and then I'm also going to pin some lace, because I think on the bottom and sides, having some lace just a little bit would be really cute and really look nice with that design. I'm also figuring out where my dowel will go and how that's going to work out for my design, because that will influence my sewing. I will have to leave a gap, and this is another reason why felt was very easy, because you don't have to worry about fabric fraying. But I need to make sure I leave a room and leave a gap for my dowel to go through there once everything is all stitched up. So once I have my lace out, once I have all of my materials pinned down, or in this case clipped down, so that everything is going to go smoothly, I'm ready to go to my sewing machine and I'm ready to stitch. So first, I'm just stitching the channel for the dowel. That's also going to let me know where I need to not stitch the ends. And then I'm just going around nice and easy and stitching my lace and my two sides together. You can see how easy that was and how cute it is. All we have to do now is add a ribbon or something on top to tie it. However, with all that space, I got to thinking, let's get some shapes out of the ScanNCut. Let's cut some more felt, and let's add even more dimension to this design. So you can pick however many or however few designs you would like. I'm just picking some flowers and some leaves, and I've got a couple of scraps of felt that I'm working with, all down on my standard mat. And then all I need to do is size these as I would like, move them around as I would like, and it will, of course, help. If you need to, you can scan your mat if you are unsure of the sizes that you have. But if you are sure of your sizes and you're ready, you can just go ahead and cut, and of course, turn off the half cut, because we want these to cut all the way through. Once cut, it's up to you how you're going to attach everything. I just got my needle and thread back out and stitched them on decoratively. I absolutely love how this is looking, and I've got my one little, at the bottom, I've got my one little heart that I'm going to add on as well. It's just so easy and fun to add a little stitching, add a little ScanNCut, and felt really helps too, because it is such an easy material to work with. And here I'm just tying my ribbon on here. I'm doing 2 knots on either side. That keeps it so that it'll be nice and sturdy. You could add a dot of hot glue if you wanted to ensure that dowel doesn't move, but I really haven't had any problems, and it's hanging on the wall. It's so lovely, and I absolutely love this creation. I hope you have been inspired to mix and match all of your supplies and your tools as well with your ScanNCut, because there certainly is an endless variety as to what we can create.